Hello everybody, I'm Jackiekcooper, and today's entertainment rundown is movies you might have missed. Some of these, are playing maybe in a theater near you, but you might just not be drawn to them. Others, are just available at art houses or have done their run. You might have to find out, if they're on VOD or video on demand or something like that. But the first one that I want to talk about is a film called Anya. And this is my favorite kind of movie that might have been missed because I found it and it just had a uniqueness to it. It doesn't have actors that I'm highly familiar with, but they're all good. And it's about a couple who meet. They don't do a very good job of telling you how they were attracted to each other or whatever. But she's a journalist, and when she meets him, he's just kind of wandering around New York City. He's kind of like he's in a daze, but they do connect. And later you get the backstory of why he was wandering around. But they do connect, start a relationship, eventually, get married and want to have a child. And she has a few miscarriages. And then they seek out a friend of hers who is not a fertility specialist. He calls himself an evolutionary specialist. But they consult with him, and it comes out that the young man, played by Gil Perez Abraham, he says that the reason they can't carry a pregnancy to term is that he is cursed. That he belongs to a tribe of people called Norwal, and that they have said if anybody tries to leave the community, marry outside of the Norwal community, that they are cursed and will never be able to have children. And you're thinking, ooh, this is going to be some good, kind of science fiction horror movie. And then there's some twists that come along. But it's unique. I mean, when have you seen a movie about a couple who want to have a child, but one of them is cursed by their heritage or whatever? It's just that it kept me interested. I wanted to know, hey, how are they going to explain this? How are they going to, move forward with this? Is it just going to come to an end with the curse reigning, or some ritual that they're going to have to do to get rid of the curse? It's just fresh, and that's what I like. And the actors, Ali An plays the young woman in the relationship who's trying to have the baby. Like I said, Gil Perez Abraham is her husband, and I don't know. You look at them and you think, no, they don't quite match up, but you believe them. You believe that they have this strong relationship. And then, as the doctor that they go to, Motel Gien Foster plays him. I really liked him. I just thought he did a superlative job of creating this doctor, and seeing how he as a scientist deals with the news of this couple who is, quote, cursed, and goes from there. The film is not rated, but I would put it at PG-13 for profanity. I scored it 6 out of 10. The uniqueness elevated it for me. I was interested from beginning to end, and I think you may be too. The film is called Anya, and I think you can look it up, seek it out, but I do think that you will enjoy it. It's not a blockbuster or anything like that. It's just a movie that held my interest and to me was above average. Then I had another movie to look at. This one's called Danger Close, and it is about the Vietnam War, but it's told from the perspective of the Australian and New Zealand troops who also, joined in the battle for South Vietnam versus North Vietnam, and you see, what they went through. This movie does not have the special effects of a movie like Midway, which I talked about earlier, but this movie gives you get to know the characters. And again, you sense the bravery that these men had to go through, and how they relied on each other, how they, assisted each other, the impact of death during battle, because in this film they go out on a maneuver, and there's like 4 different units, and different ones get pinned down at different times, different ones are under assault, but they're all in support of each other. And then you see the rockets that are fired in, and the air cover that is given, and things like that. I lived through those days. I wasn't in Vietnam, but I had a lot of friends who went to Vietnam. And this movie, again, reminds us of the sacrifice that people did. And it wasn't just America, it was also other countries. And this one, like I said, centers on Australia and New Zealand. I wasn't familiar with that many members of the cast. The main person that I did recognize was an actor named Travis Fimmel, and he was in the series Vikings. I don't know if any of y'all watched that on television, but Travis Fimmel was very good in that series, and he's very good in this, in this movie. He's the leader of a company, and he's there for his men, and he's there to support them. He's there to inspire them. And then also one of the upper levels of leadership is played by Richard Roxburgh. And I've seen him in a lot of movies. He was in Moulin Rouge and films like that. And I've seen him, he can play comedy, he can play serious drama. He usually plays somebody who's not exactly likable. And in this film, that is the same way. But also Nicholas Hamilton and Luke Bracey are in the film. Those names didn't really mean anything to me. But again, Travis Fimmel is the star. But this is a movie about war, about the hardships of war, about the terror of war, when life was not worth that much, at any given time. It is rated R for violence and profanity. I scored it 7 out of 10. I really like this movie. It had kind of the grittiness of Platoon, if you remember that movie at all, but it does rekindle the interest in what troops went through in Vietnam and the horror that they face daily, every second, every minute, every hour. So this one is one that if you get a chance, look it up. Again, 7 out of 10 for Danger Close. Finally, the third movie is a movie that's out in art houses. It's called Frankie. It stars Isabelle Huppert as an actress. She's on vacation with her family in Portugal, and it's just about things that happen to the family while she's there on vacation. I never got the point of this movie. It's got great actors and great acting, but it's just a slice of life. You don't know what came before, and you don't know what's going to happen afterwards. But it's over a few days of this family vacation with this actress and those. Her husband is played by Brendan Gleeson. She has a woman that she runs into in Portugal who's working on the Star Wars movie. She's a hairdresser, and they're good friends. She's played by Marisa Tomei. Marisa Tomei's boyfriend is played by Greg Kinnear. Her Brendan Gleeson's daughter, who is married and has a daughter in the film, is played by Vinette Robinson. All of these are good actors. All of them are moving through this story. You get in just little bits of information here, little bits of information there, that kind of weaves into an overall story of where these characters are, but it's never really clear. I wasn't clear on what the point of the film was. It's directed by Ira Sachs. I've heard good things about him, but he just went over my head with this one. I thought, why am I looking at these people? Why am I supposed to care about these people? Okay, I believe they are who they are. I believe the relationships are there, but I just couldn't dredge up a lot of empathy or support for them in any way. The film is rated PG-13 for profanity. I scored it 5 out of 10. At best, it is average. Again, when you've got somebody of the caliber of Isabelle Huppert, she makes movies that really grab you with their drama, etc. but not in this case. So there you have it. Anya, which is a really unique film. I scored it 6 out of 10. Danger Close, an action movie that got 7 out of 10. And Frankie, a character story that gets 5 out of 10. Reach down there and hit that subscribe button. We want you here for all the movies that we review. For today, this has been an entertainment rundown about movies you might have missed.